I just returned from the Paris Olympics, and it was nothing like I expected. These 7 awful things surprised me the most. I attended the Paris Olympics as an event organizer and writer, as I did for the 2020 Tokyo Games. Tokyo spoiled me and raised my expectations for Paris, but I left early feeling underwhelmed. The lack of AC, limited transportation shuttles, and hard water disappointed me in Paris. I worked as an event organizer and writer at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics for a nonprofit sports media organization, separate from my journalism day job, and returned in that same capacity for the Paris Olympics this summer. Working at the Olympics is always a unique experience. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Tokyo Olympics were pushed to 2021, with tight restrictions in place. No spectators were allowed and only a limited number of media professionals and necessary personnel were present. Surprisingly, it was an amazing experience. I spent days quarantining before I could leave my hotel room, but once I got the green light to roam free, I could feel the Olympic spirit that I saw on TV when I was growing up. Pride, patriotism, and unity somehow managed to cut through the fear and isolation that had consumed many of us throughout the pandemic. Tokyo was efficient, clean, and accommodating, so I had reasonable expectations for Paris, which had already hosted the Olympics twice. Unfortunately, Paris didn't even come close to the experience I imagined. Here are the 7 things that surprised me most. I came across a funny tweet that asked, "What did Paris do with all the rats?" I'm convinced they put them all under a bridge in Montmartre where I stayed, because I passed more than a dozen rats huddled together while I was taking a walk on my first night. These rats did not run away. Instead, they started casually walking in my direction. I work in New York City, but I will never get used to rats that aren't afraid of humans. I wasn't shocked that rats roamed the streets of Paris. I've watched Ratatouille. However, the boldness and audacity with which these French rats approached me kept me on edge. 3. Transportation was a headache. I spent $60 as soon as I landed in France. That was my first shock. I was not informed about any media shuttle from Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport to my hotel in Montmartre, about 25 to 30 kilometers, or 17 miles away. One of my colleagues flew in with bags and camera equipment and had to haul everything to her hotel on the train. In Tokyo, there were free shuttles to transport guests from the airport to media-appointed hotels. In Paris, I was given a 30-day free metro card and directed to the taxi area. I could have taken a free 1-hour commute on the train and subway, but since I had too many bags, I'd opted to pay for a 30 to 40-minute taxi ride. Tokyo had shuttles that ran to every venue we visited. Paris, on the other hand, had limited buses. No shuttles operated between the press center and one of the basketball venues located in Lille, 2 hours from my hotel. 4. The visa process I witnessed was heartbreaking. Africans typically experience higher rejection rates when applying for a Schengen visa. I learned this firsthand when I organized a concert in Paris during the Olympics and received an invitation letter from one of the mayors for 3 West African musicians to perform in the city. I thought an invitation letter from a French official, service passports, and all required documents would be enough to secure a French visa, but I was mistaken, and it was a costly mistake. After being led to several French embassies and consulates, the artists I was trying to work with were denied entry to France. This left a bitter taste in my mouth. It was hard to enjoy a place that I felt didn't want my people there. 5. Tokyo set unrealistically high expectations for free swag. Tokyo spoiled me. When it hosted the 2020 Games, it gave the press lots of functional and meaningful swag. Maybe the city had to give away all of the merchandise it produced before the pandemic. The Tokyo Media Center gave away Tokyo 2020 book bags, towels, notepads, pens, stadium cushions, and more. The organizers even had students from local schools present gifts to different delegations. Based on the generosity of Tokyo, I created a little extra room in my suitcase for Paris swag. All we got was a Coca-Cola water bottle. I'm still grateful because something is better than nothing, but I wasn't impressed. I would have loved something that represented Paris or French culture. 6. The water was too hard and caused my skin to blister. The first time I visited Europe was over 20 years ago. I was just a kid spending the summer with my cousins in the Netherlands. This time, I returned to the States with a rash all over my face, arms, and legs. I was later diagnosed with severe eczema triggered by the harsh water.